Dadgummit. You didn't break me, Flory. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get this figured out. It's not giving me what I thought it was going to give me to be able to control everything like I thought. When I first set this up, it gave me options to change and control all of my sound, but now it's not giving me those controls. We are back. I'm sorry. I'm trying to get everything figured out. It's not giving me half the controls it should be. So, we'll see what happens. Yeah, trying to figure it out. It doesn't give me near as many controls for the IRL stream as it does on my computer. So, and mic wise, I'm using a headphone, so that's probably why I sound a little underground. But hopefully, this goes well. I'll be able to buy like a lapel mic or something. There we go. Just got to get a couple of these poles set up. Ooh, you got updates on the order. You'll fund stuff if you can. I appreciate that. I am near a park. It's a public park, and behind me specifically is a dog part of the park I'm at that has public fishing. So, because we have like lakes and stuff where I live at, but there's not a whole lot of fishing from the bank at that lake. You kind of have to have a boat or a kayak, which I do not have. If you're talking about like the blurp sounds, probably. I don't know if it'll let you do the blurp sounds on an IRL stream. I don't know how that works. Because we are in fact doing this off of my phone. Oh, you just know it's been shipped. Okay, cool. Well, I think the last time I had saw any update on it, Flory, I think it said it would be delivered today at some point. If so, that would be awesome. All right. So I'm just getting one of my my poles rigged up here, and then we're gonna kind of go over everything. And I'm gonna kind of run through and show you guys some of the equipment I use, that kind of stuff. So get this out of here. Come on. So I always carry a multi-tool with me, literally every day. The last Subnautica stream, we started building our base. That's what happened on the last Subnautica stream. Nothing major happened on that one. But we started building a base on that one. But yeah, like I said, I carry a multi-tool with me every day. This is the Leatherman Arc. Great for any kind of fishing, any kind of multi-purpose stuff you have to do. Where at? I was building it in the shallows for now until I can build a Cyclops. I need one more piece to scan so I can build a Cyclops. Yeah, I think it worked just fine for you, for the throne. It didn't give me any of your details. It should hide all my details. They're usually pretty good about that. A lot of streamers use Throne, so. But let's see here. I'm going to rig this up actually with a what's called a rooster tail. It's actually in this compartment. So I'll show you the bag I'm currently using. Uh, the one Flory actually got, the one that will be sponsored by Flory, is going to be more of a traveling bag, and this is more of my everyday fishing bag, my EDC fishing bag, if you will. So I'm going to be throwing what's called a rooster tail. Yes, sponsored by Flory Alert. I understand being paranoid about it. I get it. I am too. I get that. Um, so this is what's called a rooster tail, and this is like a rainbow trout kind of color. In the fall, pink and like oranges do really well. I'm mostly going for like bluegill, um, or sunfish of sorts, unless we can find a bass. Might be able to. That's what I usually like to go after is a bass, but bass should eat this as well. This is what's called an inline spinner, so the spinner is in line with the rooster tail, which is amazing. Pain to get. Also, I recommend getting the basin mushroom forest. Ah, okay. I could do the mushroom forest. Like I said, the Cyclops, I wanted to get that first, and then we'll move everything. You already enjoying this deeply? Hell yeah, Flory. I'm glad you are. Let me get this rigged up. Where I'm at, unfortunately, is very windy at times. So keeping everything where I need it to be is a little hard at times. So there's a lot of different kind of knots. You can barely hear it. Oh no. Isolation is good. Okay, you can barely hear the wind. Oh, that's good. That's good. So in fishing, there's a lot of different kind of knots, and everyone will say the knot they use is better than any other knot, and blah 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 blah. The knot that I particularly like to use is called an improved clinch knot. So all I'm doing is I looped my line through the eyelet, and then I am just wrapping it, the extra piece around the main part of the line around 10 times. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this tag end and I'm going to run it through the loop I've created in the two lines, just like this. And then if you can see that, yeah, you can see it. There you go. That tag line. And I'm going to take that tag line and see this loop right here. I'm going to then run it through that loop, just like so. And it's going to kind of create this little figure eight pattern in the lines. Now what I got to do is wet it, because you can cause a lot of friction, which can burn line, especially if you're using like a fluorocarbon, which I am not. I'm using mono. Cheaper, easier to use. Um, it's a floating style of line if you're using like topwater baits, that kind of stuff. And now I'm just going to cinch that down. And now we're good to go. I'm going to cut my little tag line off. Like I said, I'm using a Leatherman Arc, which is the more higher end style of Leatherman, but I like it. It has everything I need, has good blade steel, all that stuff. And when you everyday carry like I do for prepper reasons, it's good to keep on hand to have the good shit. Okay, that is now tied on, and I have a little rooster tail. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to attach that to my little hook spot here. Cinch down my little knot here so I can use my reel. All right, that is now good to go. So I want to tell you about the pole that I'm using as well. We are catch and release. When I go fishing, I'm more recreational fishing than food fishing. Like when I grew up poor, so we did a lot of food fishing for like not carp, crappie, catfish, that kind of stuff. I'm going for recreational today. We're not going to be catching and eating. We're catching and releasing. Um, so the rod I'm using is called the Meal Ticket. It is a rod made by Eagle Claw, or Wright and McGill is the head company of that. It is a crappie tournament rod, so it's about 7 foot. It's a little on the flexible side because it is built for like panfish, which is kind of what I'm going for today. I'm not really going for a specific species, but panfish are pretty abundant here. The actual action on this, so each rod has an action. Um, and part of that action is like fast, medium fast, very fast, moderate fast, that kind of stuff. And what that means is when it comes to the tip, that fast action indicates when that bend ends in the rod blank for your backbone. So when you want it in different ways is you want a faster action for whenever you want that rod bend to end into the blank fast to give it that extra backbone when you're going for like bigger fish. Smaller fish you can kind of get away with a more of a medium fast, that kind of stuff. Um, and then you have what's called like the rod blank weight, which is like your medium heavy, extra heavy, ultra light, that kind of stuff. And that more means like the strength of the rod itself for what you're going for of the backbone of your rod. This one is a light power, fast action. So this is a very light powered rod, very light in the hands too, um, which is why it's meant for crappie. What's up, Khalees? Hello, welcome. Yeah, that's usually how it goes. Not a lot of people talk on my streams. Food fishing actually probably wouldn't be all that much different to stream, depending on what app you're using. I know like YouTube allows it, that kind of stuff. I don't know about Twitch. So that's that first rod that we're using. Like I said, that is a meal ticket crappie tournament rod by Eagle Claw. My second rod is a Bass Pro Shops Quick Draw. It is a medium heavy, I think. Yeah, medium heavy fast action rod. It's 7'2". Um, this is a very stupid rod. I don't really care for it. I will be replacing this rod at some point. It's a little too flimsy for it being medium heavy, but it's also like a $20 rod and reel setup. What's up, Golden? We're doing an IRL stream today. Yeah, they probably would allow if I stream 18 plus. So we're gonna set this one up. Describing you, that's funny, Flory. We're gonna set this rod up for more of a bass presentation because this is technically a bass rod. I'm gonna put this one up, and on this rod, I'm gonna set up what's called a Texas rig. So on a Texas rig, I'm going to take an EWG style hook, which means an ultra wide gap. That's this bend, where a normal hook is called a straight shank hook, which is like this. So extra wide gap, straight shank. So that extra wide gap hook allows for there to be space in between your bait and the hook itself. So when a fish comes up and bite it, it pushes that bait down and pops the point of that hook out so it can actually pop in. It's different because I'm streaming off of my phone, Rebel. We are doing an IRL stream. I do not have a thermal knife, please. No, I do not have a thermal knife. What's up, Kate? Hello. How are you? Welcome. Yes, because of the camera, because of the phone that we are using. So let me get a weight here. I don't think I have any pegs. So peg, a lot of people, you can do a Texas rig peg and unpegged. And basically what that means is your bullet weight can move freely up the line or not move freely up the line. And I do have pegs. So these are what are called pegs or bobber stoppers. They're these little rubber pieces, and what you do, you push that peg down onto your weight to keep it from moving up the line. And really, what that's mostly meant for is like for pitching or flipping into like mat covers, like hydrilla and that kind of stuff. I'm glad you're doing good. I'm doing well. I get to be outdoors. It's nice. My foot's feeling great today, so we're good. I'm from the United States. I live in Arkansas. Not originally from Arkansas, but I do live in Arkansas. Yes, liminal space, Bry. It's going to get even better once we get to the water. But I'm going to go unpeg today for my weight because I'm not pitching or flipping. So I'm just going to go with an 8 ounce weight. It's a little bullet weight. I got like quarter-ounce ones as well, which are a little bit bigger. These are lead weights because I don't have the money for tungsten weights. My earrings, those are just straight from Amazon completely. I've had them forever and a day now. Yes, Arkansas. Nice, Golden, on the 7-stream streak. Listen, my accent isn't near as bad as it could be. I have a very thick Southern accent whenever I get upset. Let's put it that way. Or if I'm really tired. And then it really comes out. Yeah, go look on Amazon. They have great earrings on Amazon. Okay, so here's how this works for a Texas rig. Got my line, I've got my bullet weight. Point side towards the line. So the line goes in the point side first, comes out, let that slide down. Then we're going to take our EWG hook. I'm going to grab a little bit bigger one. So you have different sizes. I want just a little bit bigger one, not much bigger. Actually, no, the size I got's good. That's probably either a 2/0 or a 3/0, which describes the line weight of the hook itself and like the actual size of the hook. Your Welsh accent? Oh, I can imagine. Have fun walking your dog. I don't know. We'll see you in a bit. Okay. So I'm going to do the same style tie on this line as well. The improved clinch knot. It's a little chilly out here. I will tell you that. I think we are in the low 40-degree Fahrenheit range, and there's a little bit of a breeze. Now, I will also warn you, I warned you about the wind, but I'll also warn you, I am next to like a private airport at this park. So if you hear a plane drive over my head, that's why. Okay. Got our little tagline off here. Okay. So here's the hook setup for our Texas rig. We've got a little bullet weight or a worm weight, depending on where you're from, they'll say different things. And then we've got our EWG hook. Yes, please tell your dad to come watch. We will be doing this more on YouTube once I can. We're just doing it on here because it's what allows it first until I get to those 50 subscribers on YouTube. All right. So here's where we get into the fun things about Texas rigs and stuff like that. Bait. Oh, I'm sorry, Khalees. If there's anything you want me to kind of expand upon in a way that would help understand better, let me know, and we'll go from there. Thank you, Kate. I appreciate it. I would like to definitely grow my YouTube up a lot more so I can start doing stuff on there. Okay, so for the Texas rig, we're going to go into some of our baits for that. And the baits that I'm going to go through are what are called creature baits and or craw baits, like a crawfish, crawdad, crayfish, depending on where you're at. Go from that. Yes, I do have a YouTube channel, Golden. It's the exact same thing as here, Britannic Panic. So you're going to notice I have a favorite brand when it comes to creature baits and craw baits, and that is Strike King. So Strike King Rage Tail. So Rage Tail are an amazing brand. Well, Strike King's an amazing brand in general, but Rage Tail, part of that, it describes the actual action that these baits create. They're known to really flip in the water, create a lot of wave and vibration under that water, and it keys those fish in when they're on a bite that needs that. Sometimes you want more subtle, and if I wanted to go more subtle, I've got these Excite baits, craw baits as well. They're a little smaller. These are meant to be a quote unquote trailer on like a bladed jig or a vibrating jig, that kind of stuff. And see, they're the body itself is pretty tiny, but then they have these flaps on them, which are their pinchers. But the flaps themselves don't create a lot of vibration. They're pretty tiny compared. And I'll show you what I mean, tiny compared here in a second. Thank you for subbing, Golden. Yes, I will make sure to put this on YouTube with subtitles. Don't worry. Um, so IRL stuff I want to do stuff like this. A lot of fishing style content, hiking, camping, that kind of stuff. Anything really to do with the outdoors. I might do some cooking stuff for the IRL channel as well, or IRL streams, and kind of go from there. But those are the main things: fishing, outdoorsy, maybe some cooking. So this is a Strike King Rage Bug, is what it is called, and this is a true creature bait. So it looks like just like a bug. And see how it's got those extended flappers, the extended body. And this is what's called June bug, this color, this kind of purpley blue with blue flake inside of it. But I don't think I'll need that today. So for this kind of a color, you want more darker water, kind of a muddy water. And this water tends to get kind of clear. And it looks like it's going to be pretty clear today from what I can see. So I'm going to go with a green pumpkin color. I'll show you what I mean by a green pumpkin color. These are Strike King Rage Craws, so they look like a crawfish instead of like a bug. I'll pull these out. So these are all in a clamshell kind of packaging to kind of keep them from getting all kinked up. But here is our craw bait. So it looks like a crawfish going through the water. Big flappers that really kick up a lot of water and when they're running through. I'll pop this on our Texas rig. So I get this cinched back up. Okay. Okie dokie. So, got our hook. We've got our bait. So how I want our bait to sit is this end towards the front eye of the hook. So it's going to kind of sit just like this. So what I'm going to do, because I want it to sit towards that front eye, I'm going to take it and I'm going to poke through this end of the bait, run it in a little bit, and then I'm going to come out that kind of front end of that tail, that top side of that tail, just like this. And then we're going to run it up to the eye of our hook. Because this hook, since it has kind of that weird angle on the top part of it, that's going to work as a bait keeper. And a bait keeper is what just keeps our bait in place on that hook, just like that. So it sits up on there. And that kind of helps protect our knot. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to put our hook through the body of the craw, and we're going to try and keep that straight. You sent it to your father? Hell yeah. So we're going to set this up in here. Kind of poke it through. Okay, so it's poked through. We're straight. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bunch this up just a little bit to poke the needle end of that hook back into the soft plastic, if you can see that. And that's what's called text posing. So that's going to make it weedless. So when we're running through weeds, that hook won't catch. So now we have our Texas rig hookup. All right, rod number 2, ready to go. Now for rod number 3, we're going to get a little different. So the first 2 rods I showed you are called spinning rods. So they have, get that up there. They have this bail for all of our lines on and one singular handle. These are a spinning staller rod. This for bass, for largemouth bass, smallmouth bass, that kind of stuff. Honestly, it's not that big of a hook compared to what a lot of people use for bass. I don't expect to find anything big in here. Now, this is a bait caster rod. So it's a different type of reel. So it's a bait caster. Our spool's in the middle, and we're going to control it with our thumb. This is a Skeet Reese edition Eagle Claw rod. It says for jigging and worming. It's got a specific action to it for certain types of things that you do. This is my all-purpose spinning rod or bait caster rod. The bait caster itself is a Ozark Trail 10-to-1 bait caster. It's just a cheap little thing to get me used to. I've grown up doing the spinning, never really done the bait caster, so I'm getting used to it. I hope he does enjoy it. I hope he actually tunes in. That would be awesome. So this is I believe this is a medium heavy to a heavy rod, and then it's a fast action. So really quick tip. It's got a nice stiffness to it. It's nice. But on it, what I'm going to be throwing, because I'm not going to change this out, at least not yet. We're going to see how this runs. I already have it hooked up the way I want. I'm going to be running what's called a chatterbait. So this is a chatterbait. It's got this blade on the front. So when this goes through the water, this blade will kick up just like this. And then it'll wobble back and forth like this, and create a lot of vibration and flash. And then it's just got a weighted head. It's got a skirt. And then I have one of those little creature baits on the back of it just to give it a little more profile, a little more action to it. This is a very subtle craw bait. But the actual skirt itself is in a green pumpkin purple. So it's green pumpkin with a little bit of purple flake in it. And then the craw itself is more of a watermelon, black, and gold flake. But that's what we're going to be running on that. I'm not changing that one out because this one should be a good one for today if we want anything to really try and bite. I might switch it later to like a swim bait. And what I mean by a swim bait, I can just show you, is this. I already got one kind of rigged up. So this is a swim bait. It is just what's called a boot tail, paddle tail, minnow style soft bait that's then got a swim style head on it with a hook straight through it. So it's just a open hooked back, and they'll swim the water just like that. They'll kick that tail, causing a lot of vibration. But it's a very sleek, small bait. So if we're needing something more subtle than the chatterbait, we'll go with that. And that's going to be a net baked little spanky. Yeah, a little spanky in watermelon red. So it is that green with red flake in it. What's up, Chaotic Engineering? Welcome. I hope you love fishing because we're going fishing today. Yes, Matterwellen. Yeah, Matterwellen. There you go. Yeah, I do a lot of variety. So we're trying to know. Some other little baits I got that we might try today. I've got these tubes. Um, these are an old tube. Also in a watermelon red with black flake. Good floating, good for stuff. Yeah, we're doing sunfish mostly, maybe some bass. We'll see what we kind of get hooked into. There's catfish, bass, trout. There's all kinds of stuff in this little lake that we're doing. They call it a lake. It's more like a pond. We might move to like a worm style. So we got some net bait flex worms. They don't even make these anymore, unfortunately, which really sucks. I love these. But these are a good finesse style bait in a tilapia magic color. I'm going to what technically a lake, but it's so small it's more like a pond, but they call it a lake. Thank you. Yeah, got a little flannel on. I love this flannel. They're really nice. It's Dixon is the brand, Dixxon, Dixon. Yeah, crazy pond with sunfish. Yeah, I'm hoping we'll catch some. This pond unfortunately does tend to be pretty pressured. There's a lot of people here, so we'll see what happens. I don't know why I'm trying to open it. I'm trying to open it. I also got a lot of different sticko baits or worm baits. So I got this Guggen one. I haven't used these yet. These are a 4-inch stick bait and called a lunker log is what they like to call it. And it's in June bug color. And then Gary Yamamoto baits are my favorite for a worm stick style bait. I also love to buy flannels. They're so comfy. This one's nice because it's got slide over this side. This side it's got microfiber built in for your sunglasses. So I got Gary Yamamoto stick bait 5-inch. This is watermelon with black and red in it, and then because pink does really well in the fall around here, I've got like this bubble gum pink 5-inch stick bait. And honestly, the only reason why I carry these, I wacky rig them, which is just where you put a hook straight through the middle and then it flaps throughout the water. The two ends flap while it goes down the water. But the bubblegum pink pisses fish off. Don't know why, it does. It's amazing. So we might switch through a few of those, but we've got what we got set up for now. I've technically got 4 rods with me, but I'm going to take this one with me. This is just a fun little rod to take. It's a telescoping rod, so it extends out and folds within itself. There you go, send his girlfriend it. That's amazing. This one's a fun one. It's also by Eagle Claw. Like I said, I'm not affiliated with any brand I talk about here. It might sound like it. I'm not. A lot of this, the rods were gifted to me. I bought one of the rods I'm using today. The other ones were gifted. But this is the Eagle Claw Packet Pro, which is nice. It's you can technically do this with bass, but it's kind of on the more flex side, so it's better for panfish, that kind of stuff. But you can take it with bass. I don't generally use it for that, but we'll see. Fish are so not Barbie. That's funny. Okay, and now let's get everything packed back up here. I'll show you kind of what I'm using. So I've got 5 boxes with me. So I'm using an Evolution fishing bag. that came with these boxes. So it's an evolution fishing. I've got my weights, bobbers, all in this box. In this box, I've got hooks, any kind of hook I can need, jig heads. I've got beads for if I want to do what's called a Carolina rig. In gear by myself, or like on the gear I have today. So what I've paid for myself, probably at least 200, maybe a little more. I thrift shop a lot, so I buy a lot of things on sale. I don't really buy things like when they're not on sale full price. I also buy cheaper style gear for myself. Now, if I were to combine three of the rods that were gifted to me, added into that, we're looking more like maybe 700, because these are not cheap rods and reels that were gifted to me. But I am very appreciative of what has been gifted to me for sure. Um, but yeah, it's an expensive world, unfortunately, when it comes to fishing. A car boot sale, like as in a car trunk sale, I'm sure I would. We have a lot of sales around here for yard sales and garage sales. This box I have top water baits. So these are all baits that just sit on top of the water. They have different actions. I probably won't do much top water bait today because we got the sun high up. Got we got some good wind. I might end up doing some top water at some point. So those are the boxes, and I'll show you the bag. So the bag I'm using, like I said, is an Evolution fishing style backpack. And here it is. So it's got my boxes here. It's got this giant compartment that opens and flips down. This side right here, as I can put my hand in, where the strap is a 2-rod holder, so I can put 2 rods in it. And then I've got a plier holder, another pocket. Yeah, I understand the lives off fishing for sure. My dad and I did it for years, crappie fishing. We had to live off of fish and hunting. Um, Inside, this is the top down. I got 2 more boxes. This is a bass specific box. This is a crappie specific box. I've got some little Play-Doh um, balls for panfish. This is where I keep my soft plastic baits that I was just showing you. And then these are technically swim baits. So any big baits, I got big treble hooks and stuff, I put in here. But I don't have any of those. I don't fish that stuff a lot. So I just put extra hooks, like shaky head hooks, barrel swivels, that kind of stuff in there. I've got some sunglasses, which we will be using today. In the front pocket on the top, I do need a fishing license. Yes, I have to have a state-specific fishing license. So I have a fishing license for Arkansas, Oklahoma, and Missouri. And yes, I say Missouri, not Missouri. And yes, I do pretty well financially, smart wise, on my fishing gear. Got a couple of these HD crankbaits. So these are a 10 to 14 foot crankbait. They dive down 10 to 14 feet. Great. I've got me a little Team Arc square bill. This goes about 4 to 5 foot. Great to bounce off of rocks, stuff like that. Ooh, your dad did hunting and fishing with hunting with ferrets. I've always wanted to try that. I love ferrets. First off, but that'd be cool. That's really neat. I'd love to hear more about that. So that's the main compartment and the front pouch on that. On one of my side pouches, I keep a little camping axe that happens to also be a multi-tool. So it's got other tools, but it's got a little axe head, hammer, wrench. I keep that just in case I ever need anything extra. A lot of the baits are in fact reusable as long as I'm smart with them. Catfish can be fun to fish for. It depends on what kind you're going for and how big. They can get kind of slimy at times, and they're not always fun to deal with. It sounds like we'd get along pretty great. This other side pocket I have, I keep extra line. So this is a little spool of 8-pound fluoro. or not fluoro, monofilament. And then this is a spool of 17-pound monofilament. I use a lot of mono. It's just a good all-purpose, right around kind of line. It's also cheaper than anything else most people use because a lot of people use really expensive fluorocarbon or braid, which I don't have the money for. So I just use monofilament because it's cheap and gets me through everything I need to go through. I need to put these baits back. Okay. So we're going to go find a spot to kind of camp out for a second so we can actually get some fishing done now that we've gone through all the gear that I'm taking. So I'm going to put a couple of these rods in my little rod holder here. Stick these over here. Okay. So let me kind of show you what we got going on here. All right. So there's the bag set up. Rods are in the rod holder. We got everything put. Yeah, take a grab trap just in case. Honestly, though, I probably need to. So I'm going to get this bag hooked onto my back real quick, and then we will be off and on our way. Let me pop this little stand back out here, if it'll let me. Okay. Put you back there for a second. Okay. Use pest controller? Nice. That's awesome. I've seen a lot of videos of people hunting with ferrets, and it looks pretty neat. The falcon hunting looks really cool too, in all honesty. All right, we are gonna go fishing. Let me get everything gonna put away here. Get my truck locked. And get everything situated here. I've not had to carry this much stuff to go fishing before. All right, got my monster. So we got some energy for the day. And if the camera's a little shaky, apologize. The stand I got is not for keeping vibration out of the phone. I also have a limp right now due to my foot. So the camera might be a little shaky here. I apologize for that. I do like snakes. If I see one, I usually catch it, unless I know for a fact it's poisonous. And then I usually don't touch it. Depending on where it's at, I might even kill them if I have to. I see a good dock that we're going to go stage up. We'll go try that. There's a few other people out here fishing today. So, like I said, this pond can be pretty pressured at times. We'll see. We got a little ways to walk. There's a good amount of spots on this lake that we can go to. So we'll try a few different spots, see what we can find. Let's see here. We might actually not go to this first dock that I noticed. We might go around to one of the other banks. You had over 25 snakes at some point. You used to breed them. Jeez, no thank you. I used to breed a lot of different types of animals, and snakes is not what I'd want to breed. That does not sound fun to have that many snakes. Okay, never mind. We are going to hit this dock up. So it's a little windy. which could be a good thing if we want to catch some bass specifically. So wind, when it pushes on the water, if it's windy enough, it'll push bait fish, specifically like bluegill, minnows, red shad, that kind of stuff, onto the bank. And bass are very much a ambush style fish, so they like to ambush their prey. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this tripod up a little bit, and we'll go from there. Okay, here's probably the lake we're going for, and I'm going to kind of cast out here. I'll kind of put you backwards a little bit to where I can still see and be able to talk to you. What's up, Kel? Welcome, welcome. Hello. Okay. Hopefully, the stand seems to be pretty sturdy, but we're going to find out how sturdy it is. And hopefully, this wind doesn't affect my casting too much since I'm using smaller style bait. So we're going to go with that rooster tail I showed y'all first. And it's a 1/8 ounce weight. So it's not very heavy. We're going to see what we can do. Yeah, afraid of that. Wind caught my bait a little bit on that one. So I got a little hung up in some brush. You're going to give me a little shove? Thanks. Thank you, Flory. I appreciate that. I'm so happy you want to shove me into the water. So I'm kind of just fan casting out here, which means I'm kind of like casting out in a cone, just to kind of try and cover water, because I don't really know. The water's a little muddier today than I thought it was going to be, and that it usually is. So I can't sight fish. So I can't like see the fish, cast towards them specifically. I'm kind of having the fan casting out and seeing just kind of what will pick up and hit. This is a third person vertical fishing very that I like that. I've never played Fishing Planet. I thought about getting it to try. Um, I've definitely thought about doing that. I have the Bassmaster game itself, but whoever they got to design that game was not great. It's the mechanics in that game suck, and the graphics are even worse. So okay, I think we're gonna move. I don't think I'm gonna find what I want to find here. I'm gonna do one more cast, and then we're gonna probably move to the other side that I found and go from there. Yeah, I was afraid of that. So when the wind caught my bait, it created a loop in my line and my spool, or essentially what's kind of known as a bird's nest. So you can kind of see it there. It's all bird nested, tied around itself. So I'm gonna have to pull this out and then reel it back in with tension to get that bird nest out. The only bad part about there being wind here and throwing like a lighter style bait. We've been told that E4 have leaves at this point. Decent progression mechanics. I'll have to look into that, Chaotic. Another fishing game I was looking into is Call of the Wild the Angler. They make that hunting game. So I do have the hunting game, and it's cool. But the fishing game looks pretty neat too. So I might try that one out at some point as well. Okay, we've got ourselves a mess due to this wind. There we go. So I'm going to get to work on the spooling this back up here. Then we'll move spots. Because I don't want to stay in one place too much. I would like to actually cover as much ground as we can to try different spots out and see what we can find. Okay, here we go. Okay. We got a little gunk on our hook here. Clear that off. And now we're going to find a different spot. Most American and manly stream, huh? Wholesome saying, hey, we like to keep things wholesome around here, okay? Trust me, we can get a lot more American pretty fast if we needed to. But I think this is enough American for now. Okay. Let's continue on, shall we? I'll fold you back down a little bit here. Make you a little more manageable to carry. Yeah, essentially. Listen, I grew up to where hold my beer is a common occurrence and statement that's made. I grew up redneck. Hillbilly. That's why I very much say I am y'all alternative. Hopefully that plane's not too loud in y'all's ears. We just had a plane fly over. That's why I say I'm y'all alternative. I grew up very country, but I also love everything goth and emo and all that stuff. So we're gonna try this other side. So you can kind of see there's this kind of like marshland, grassland kind of area, and then over there's some more water. And that's where we're gonna head to. So I'll just show you what's in front of me. So we got more lake over here. I was right over there at that dock specifically where my rod tip's pointing. But there's two other guys over there that's fishing too. I can't tell if they're fishing for catfish or bass. I think catfish because they have what's called a popping cork on there. So when they pop their line, that cork makes a sound. It's kind of like a bobber. That lets them know like when something hits, it'll drive that bobber underwater. But that popping cork, like I said, specifically when you pop your line, it makes a noise in the water, unlike a normal bobber. So I think they're going for catfish. That's a very good technique for a catfish. That popping noise makes it sound like whatever bait they're using is dying. And catfish are opportunistic and kind of like a bottom feeder in a way. So if they see a fish that's like on its last leg, they don't have to put a lot of effort into to get it, they'll immediately go and chase it. So We got some more people over on that side I was going to go to. Let's try over on this bank instead. We might end up going around to a different spot altogether because I see a little canal opening that might be good. But I also just saw a fish blow up on the water. So let us change tactics. So kind of get you all set up. Hopefully somewhat of a stable way. I might have to actually use my bag to stabilize this tripod. In all honesty, I don't think it's going to stabilize on its own. So, let's see here. Nope. Maybe more like that. You're going to be too far back. Give me a second. Let me get this figured out. Where I'm at does not have very even ground. Actually, there might be a decent amount of even ground over here. Or maybe just put you closer to the water instead. Maybe more like that. Nope, still too top heavy. Okay, that's fine. We'll get it figured out here. Maybe. No, still a little too top heavy. Let me get some of these rods unhooked here. We'll go from there. That'll probably help some if I get these rods kind of undone. Six form, sending. Oh, that's awesome, Kate. Nice. I for the most part understood what you were meaning though. And yes, chaotic America. Fuck yeah. Listen, I'm patriotic enough around here to love the country I live in, but also understand we're a little fucked at times. That. Ha 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 ha. Gotcha. Now we got it. Okay. So, like I said, we're going to adjust tactics a little bit. We are going to go with the Texas rig. So I'm going to go more of a bottom contact style bait. So this bottom contact. Yeah, I can agree with that for you. I love my country mostly. There's a lot of things in this country I do not love. And a lot of people in this country I do not have the patience for. So we're going to, like I said, we're going to expose this. So we've got our hook there. Now, if you notice, our hook is a little hidden inside that bait, just the tiniest bit. So whenever a fish bites it, that hook will pop out of the bait. So I can actually hook it. Oh, no! Don't flip on me. There we go. Okay. So this, like I said, this is the bottom style bait. So this will sit on the bottom. All I'm going to do is I'm going to drag it. When I drag it, those little flappers will flap up in the water. And I want to give it a couple pops to where it comes up in the water column, falls back down, and those claws will flap still. Give it a little more action. This is a very soft bottom for what it feels like. Mostly grass around here from what it feels like. I'm not getting a lot of tension as I'm dragging this across the bottom. We're just going to slowly move it along. Ooh. We might have something. Or I just have a good amount of grass on me. So I felt a couple hits, but I couldn't quite tell if that was something nibbling on me or if I hit grass. And I think I don't see any. I don't see any bite marks, but I also didn't come up with a bunch of grass on it. So I'm thinking we might have just gotten a couple bites there. Let me kind of rearrange my bait here. He's a little off kilter. So we're going to toss again. We're going to see what happens. I think we might have gotten the bite. Hopefully it wasn't a bluegill, because if that was a bluegill, I ain't ever getting that thing hooked. With this hook, that is. And that wind is a nightmare once again. There we go. So like I said, we're just going to kind of drag the bottom. Slowly work this bait. Give it a couple pops here and there. We're going to let that bait itself do most of the work for us. Oh, don't worry. Please, if you are following the YouTube, I will post this onto the YouTube. Don't worry. But get some good sleep, man. Thanks for joining. I'm glad you were here for the first IRL stream. No. Definitely got caught up on that one. Though the way it stopped, it definitely felt like something could have bitten down on it. Now, water is a little bit brisk today. Thank you, Khalees. I appreciate it. We're probably going to need the luck with how pressured this place tends to be.
Hey, fish in there?
Nothing yet.
Oh, they all flew away.
Probably. I'm feeling a lot of good contact to the bottom of this. There's quite a bit of leaves, but I think we got a good amount of little sticks and logs. Ah, it felt like something. We're just getting a good amount of brush in this little spot I just tossed. And unfortunately, like I said, this pole is really cheap. So sensitive wise, it's not great. So feeling a difference between a bite and typical brush on this pole is a little iffy. It's not great. A new star of the show, honestly, though. Yeah, we have a lot of people that they walk the paths, but they're funny. And yeah, you're right, Sam. That's true Southern American right there. Anytime you go fishing anywhere, it is commonly uh, you hear someone behind you going, "Any fishing there?" Damn, we hope. Wouldn't be out here if I didn't hope. You guys might see a plane getting ready to come up. I don't know if it'll be in the shot or not. You should at least hear it. I don't think it come up into the camera though. Yeah, we got a lot of hydrilla out where I just now threw. I could almost swim this as a swim bait because how much action the back legs have on this bait. Um, but it's really a great bottom contact bait because it imitates a crawfish. That's all you always say. No, hey, that's fair. That is fair. Oh, that's funny. You never want to give away your spots. And unfortunately, I've seen with a lot of YouTubers on different fishing platforms, they are really bad about what's called burning a spot. Meaning, if they find a lot of good fish, they tend to say where they're at. And so, unfortunately, that ruins a lot of good fishing places for like locals. Like, if that YouTuber wasn't from that area, they essentially just destroyed that entire fishery for local people because they burnt that spot. So, here's what I'm talking about: a lot of hydrilla. Or a lot of people will say it's salad. There's a lot of salad in here. I'm going to kind of clean this hook off a little bit. And then I'm going to throw the chatterbait around. Get a little movement going. See if we can kind of call up a bite with that. So that might be what we need. And like I said, we'll probably move another spot. And we're going to kind of try every little area we can on this lake. Now, a lot of people here would definitely consider this a lake. If they weren't over by the other lake that we're near, where I'm at in Arkansas. Um, but for this particular town, I would say they would definitely consider this a lake. But I also, yeah, they consider this a lake. It's called a lake. It's a pond. But I grew up next to a pretty good sized lake in Missouri, and now that one is a lake. I missed fishing that one. That was a good one. But I used to do a lot of what I would consider dock hopping on that lake. I fished off of just mainly docks. I didn't have a boat growing up. Didn't have a kayak, nothing like that. So my dad and I would go to a couple docks that we knew people who owned them, and we'd go fishing off of docks. Everything in America is pretty much huge. In all honesty, they're huge. All right, so like I said, we're gonna throw the chatterbait, get a little movement going. And honestly, I think I'm gonna toss it out this way. Got a heron or crane, depending on which one you feel like it's called. I hope you all saw that. That was cool. Welcome back. I don't know. So that's a good sign that there are fish somewhere around here because we just saw a blue herring, and that blue herring indicates that there's at least sunfish around here. So we might have some luck at some point if we switch back to the rooster tail. Got a little salad on there. I think I got it off. Yeah, we got that salad off of there. Unfortunately, it's windy, and what's bad about a bait caster when it's windy is bird nesting. Bait casters are horrible about bird nesting, um, unfortunately. But I put in a good amount of time with this. I think I'll be okay for the most part about not bird nesting too much. Ooh, we got some salad. There we go. I think I actually got one. Either that or I have a lot of salad on me. Oh, we got us a fish, boys. Boys and girls, we got us a fish. Ooh, he's a fighter. All right. It's a good size. All right. Okay, let's see here. There we go. All right, y'all. Look at there. It's a little, probably 1 pounder, 1.5 pounder. Look at that gorgeous fish. That's beautiful. I will definitely be making sure I take a screenshot of that later. All right, guys, this is my first fish here. And my first fish on the chatterbait. Look at that. All right, we're going to let him go. All right, little one. Big one. Ha ha! There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That was awesome. Now, for anyone that wasn't sure exactly how that feels, like if you've not been fishing, especially bass fishing, all that felt like was I went from this has got a lot of vibration to it. So I can feel that whole vibration through the rod. Like I can literally feel the rod vibrating. And this thing itself has a good amount of weight. I think this is half, yeah. No, this is a 1 ounce, maybe. Half ounce, in between a half to a 1 ounce. So probably maybe a 3/4. So all that felt like it went from the weight of the actual jig itself to all of a sudden weight just pulling down and away. And that's how I felt and then realized it was there. Yes, the spawn killer. We love your mom's got around here. She's amazing. All right, we're going to go for that again. We now know chatterbait's working. All right, so that was a lot of fun. We're going to continue throwing this one a little bit, but I want to keep up with you guys. Good God Almighty, I could only let me keep up with what your mom's gyno is doing right now. Saved yours about 57 times, Pastel Kel. That sounds about right. That's a great comeback. That's fair, chaotic. That is fair. So chaotic. I'm gonna give you a little hint as to who your mom's gyno is. Your mom's gyno is my in real life fiance, and she is incredible, and we love her. And let me tell you, I've got more traffic to this page just because of her name in the chat than anything. Not my wife, not yet, not yet. She's my fiance right now. Oh, yeah, a little hint, honestly. That is a little hint. What are you talking about, Flory? Also, hold on. Let me see if I can get you guys to see this plane. Maybe. There it is. We got a plane. I figure you guys might find it cool. So literally right across from where I'm standing, that building is part of an airport over here. As you should be, Blessing, because you're gorgeous. All right, let's try this again. Let's see what else we can find. I got a little bit of a buzz going on. I'm high on that fish. That's fun. Okay, getting a little stalemate right now. Nothing so far. Oh, there it goes. Hold on, there we go. Honestly, we might not do too bad with the top water today. Since they went after this chatterbait so well, a top water might not be a bad choice. I think we might have another one. No, salad. Has salad on that one. Okay. So it's getting a little bright out here. I'm gonna have to put on my sunglasses. Hold on. Let me catch up here. Plane. She would never blush at that. Trust me. See you in a bit, Kate. Have a good nap. Have some good food. I'm gonna grab sunglasses real quick, and then I think we might go a little further down the bank and keep trying some different spots along the way, and then eventually we might head back the opposite direction we came from and go to more the opposite side, to the opposite bank you can see over there. I'm going to throw this a couple more times. We'll try a couple other things. Um, might go ahead and try the rooster tail as well. Give it a shot. Hopefully, my battery will last because my battery is running down very fast, unfortunately. Ah, we got a bird's nest. The old wind got me this time. Okay, hold on. There we go. There we go. Ooh, I hear something jumping behind me. It's little jumps, so I think it might be some bluegill. Yes, I am a very lucky man, Chaotic. You are quite right. Don't I know it? Um, she has been an incredible support. Honestly, if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be doing this now. I wouldn't be streaming. Um, I have wanted to do streaming, especially fishing streaming, for years. Um, but I grew up in a very poor home, so I didn't really have a lot of things, opportunities. I didn't have a lot of opportunities, and so um, this was a giant leap of faith for me, and she was that faith. Um, I can't give enough um, thank you and appreciation for her for that, um, because this took a lot of time, effort, and honestly, it to get things started to going, like with my computer, everything. It took a lot of money, and I have a lot of people to thank for that that helped me get to that point. Dot Shay's one of them. Pastel Kel's one of them. Those three, your mom's got on Dot Shay, Pastel Kel, they have supported me through so much, and they are such amazing people. But your mom's gyno is my one and only, and she's my forever, and I can't thank her enough for all the support she's given me. It's awesome, awesome stuff. Thank you, Chaotic. You're amazing. All right, we are going to move spots. Actually, no. Before I move spots, let's try the rooster tail. Then we're going to move spots, and then here in about maybe 30 minutes, I might have to run back to my truck. We'll do some more talking through different equipment that I have while I charge my phone, because apparently live streaming is sucking the battery out of my phone. And let me tell you, this was at 100% when I started. We're at 35% now. Okay. And since y'all are liking this, and it looks like we've gotten a decent amount of viewers the entire time we've been here, um, I will invest in a lapel mic so you guys can hear me better. Because right now I'm just running you through the earbud. So I'll get a lapel mic so you guys can have better sound quality. Sorry about the ad. I don't know. Basically, you missed me talking about how much love I have for your mom's gyno, who is my in real life fiance. The support she's given me, the support Dot Shay has given me, the support that Pastel Kel has given me, and how I couldn't do any of this without them. They are the reason why I do this. They are the reason why I took this leap of faith to do this and have the courage to do it. That's all you missed. Oh, and I think you might have missed. Did you catch the fish catch earlier? Because that was important. That was awesome. Ah, wind caught it. The wind caught my rooster tail there, and unfortunately, since a rooster tail has a treble hook, they're a little sticky. It likes to catch to everything. A little salad on there. No, we're good. Darn it. We had us a bite and it got away. Those treble hooks are sticky, but not sticky enough for this one, for this time. That was definitely bluegill, though, because that was just a small little nibble. Come on. There we go. Got it. All right. Definitely have to put on sunglasses. You named him Bassy. That's amazing. I like that. So, this, like I said, this is a rooster tail. And as you can see, it has those treble hooks. And those treble hooks are great at sticking to everything, which is why I call them sticky. Treble hooks are so sharp. So, most of the time when a fish comes after them, they'll just kind of swipe at it. And those treble hooks are good at being sticky. So, they'll just kind of stick everywhere to help you catch fish. But they also catch a lot of salad. I also forgot to mention, so on this rod, this is that meal ticket rod by Eagle Claw. Meal ticket, you can see it there. Or I can flip it around so you can actually read it. This is that meal ticket rod, crappie rod. But the reel that I have on it is by Eagle Claw as well. It is called the Trail Master. So I had another rod called the Trail Master. It was a 4-piece traveling rod. So it had 4 pieces to it. This is a 2-piece traveling rod. But it broke. So I had to get a new rod, and I got the meal ticket, and I just took that reel from the Trail Master and stuck it onto here because they are still a good, great combo. Very lightweight combo. It breaks down pretty decently small because this is 7 foot altogether, if I remember correctly. Yeah, this is a 7 foot. It breaks down into 2 3.5 foot pieces. Um, so if you have like a little rod holder or like a canister, you can fit that into there to carry it and travel with it without it getting broke. It's a nice little rod and reel combo. I like it quite a bit. It feels really nice. It's got a very nice feel to it. Ah, that salad's not coming off so easy. There we go. Wind's died down a little bit, which is nice. Oh, okay. I don't know if you guys saw that. I think it was a little out of screen. So I got a bite. Didn't get it hooked, unfortunately. But you can see where they bit on the bait itself because it took that paint off. And as soon as that happened, 2 more fish jumped out of the water at the same time. So I'm gonna have to get a GoPro at some point so I can film a different POV of this fishing setup. So I'll have the live stream going, and then I'll have a GoPro to where I can post that on YouTube because that would have been really neat to see, and I would love for you guys to see that. That was cool. Unfortunately, those are the kind of bites that make it to where I don't want to leave the spot. Even though I know I probably should go further into the cove or go around. It's like right as soon as you're like, okay, yeah, I'm going to move, you get that bite, and then you just got to stay. So we're going to stay a little bit longer. I'm going to actually, hopefully y'all can hear that. I'm going to put on my sunglasses, like I said, like 5 times now, and I keep forgetting to do it. So you're going to get a little bit shaky for a second, and I apologize. There we go. Okay. So I have 3 different pairs of sunglasses. And the reason why, so I keep them in my bag. These are specifically for my fishing. And I don't know all the science and the nuance behind it because I'm still learning that part myself. So a lot of this streaming is me learning things as I talk with you, um, and you learning with me. Because I definitely don't know everything about fishing. I grew up crappie fishing and what we called perch, which are actually bluegill fishing. I didn't grow up bass fishing. I grew up doing some cat fishing, but it was mostly crappie. That was my dad's thing, was crappie. We didn't use sunglasses. We didn't use half the baits that I use for bass fishing. So a lot of bass fishing, you use different colored lenses on your sunglasses to take the glare off the water and to be able to kind of see through the water. So different lenses will take that glare off and clear up that water to where you can see further into it and do what's called quote unquote sight fishing. And so it's where you can literally see the fish, throw at that fish, and then see it eat. So I've got 3 different pairs of sunglasses with 3 different style of tints to it to where I can try and see through that water to see the fish. And then I'm still learning which color works on which type of water. Isn't that cool, Flory? I thought it was really neat when I learned about it. So I'm trying these ones out because from what I can see just from here on the bank, this gave me no glare, as little glare as possible while still being able to see through the water and not giving that water a particular like color tint. So we're going to try that out and see how it goes. Ah, felt kind of like a bite, but no, it was salad. That was just straight salad. Okay, get all this cleared off here. Wind's picking up a little bit. Ah, it didn't go very far. Okay, that wind picking up, we're going to move. Especially throwing this light little bait, that wind is going to be interesting. A little vegan fishing, honestly, though. Fishing for salad. I might have to make a whole blooper reel section called Fishing for Salad. Or name it Vegan Fishing. Okay, let us move. We're gonna move, I think, further into this cove. One of the people that was fishing over there that I didn't want to mess with is moving, so we're gonna go kind of try that spot out because a lot of these people, like I said, are fishing specifically for catfish and panfish, where I'm fishing for everything, whatever I can catch. Okay, let me grab you guys, kind of set you up while I put this on here. Put my bag on. I'm not gonna put my rods back in the holder for right now, just because it's gonna take too much time. I'm just gonna grab them and go. How are we doing on battery? 28%. So we're gonna have to go to the truck here before too long. So I think what I'm seeing is I'm gonna have to invest in a magnetized battery power bank for the phone, so I can hook that on the back and charge while we stream. Because at this rate, we're only going to get like 1.5 hour live streams. And that ain't long enough. That's not enough time for fishing. We got to go a lot longer than that. I'm an all day fishing kind of person. Okay, so I'm not going to go right up on this cove. I'm going to kind of hang back because the water is so clear over here. I don't want the fish to spot my shadow. But you can see, here's where I'm going to be fishing. So we were right over that way. We came down the bank, and now we're over into this little cove. That's what we're going to do. So, like I said, I'm going to kind of hang back from the cove. That way I can't be spotted. And so I can toss into the cove, which I'm going to be standing like kind of like right here. I'll toss into that cove and see what we can get out of there, is the plan. So I'll put my bag down and set you back up so you're not going to fall over. There we go. That's good. And I'm going to go in with subtle again. I'm going to start with the bottom contact bait. And we'll go back to the chatterbait, and then we'll go back to. What do you mean the sound doesn't work? I don't know. You're gonna have to explain to me why the sound doesn't. What sound doesn't work? The blurps? Because if you're talking about the blurps, okay, yeah, the blurps. That's probably because we're in an IRL stream off my phone, and blurp is run through Twitch on my computer. So more than likely, I don't think. I'm wondering if I don't think blurps work on my phone streams in general. To be quite honest, I don't think that's something that works because I don't think I can even access. Yeah, I can't even access the blurp extension through my phone. So I think that's just a computer thing. So that's probably why they don't work. Also, it's getting a little windy. Hopefully this doesn't blow over. I've got a pretty heavy bag set up on you guys, so we should be good. Okay. Take a drink of my caffeine here. Hey, Monster, sponsor me. I drink you every day. The dogs probably would go crazy for that, for sure. If the blurps were going off on my computer at home. But I also don't have speakers on my computer at home. I just have headphones, so I doubt you'd be able to hear them in general. All right, we're going to go with our bottom contact bait, our little Texas rig with the Rage Craw. All right. No bites or anything on that cast. So we'll kind of see what goes from here. Okay. All right. Getting a lot of debris on the bottom, which is not a bad thing. That's good space for fish to hide and cover. Unfortunately, we ain't really getting anything yet bite wise, which I think means we're going to move back to either the rooster tail or the chatterbait. But I'm going to try one thing before I do that. We're going to run and burn this bait. So we're going to kind of fish it like a swim bait. So I'm going to toss it out there. I'm just going to start straight retrieving it. And see if we can get it, because those legs on that bait have a lot of action to them. So I want them to flutter. So I'm going to try and straight retrieve and see what happens. Might not work. Might. We'll see. So I'm just kind of slow rolling this. I'm not rolling it in real fast. Just enough to kind of keep it off the bottom and keep those legs kind of flapping around. So it looks more like a natural crog. So those crawls are going to stay pretty close to the bottom. Ah, I think it just got caught on a log. It kind of felt like a bite there for a second. But I think it just got caught on a log. All right, we're going to switch back to the chatterbait. See how that goes. I think a lot of our talkers might be lurking right now. That might be why a lot of people aren't talking. Plus, it's just kind of scenic out here. We're just out in nature, enjoying a nice day. So a lot of people might just be flat out enjoying just the serene sounds of nature, which is kind of what I wanted. I wanted people to come, relax, and enjoy a little bit of fishing. Okay, we're gonna switch to the chatterbait. So it's all wrapped up in itself. It's a lovely thing about the wind. Okay, going back at it with the chatterbait, which is what we caught that bass on earlier. Kind of fix my bait on there a little bit better. There we go. Make him nice and pretty. Make him look delicious. Yes, I don't know. How is your day going? Ooh, what'd you get caught on? Are you caught on yourself? Ah, good lord. There we go. No salad, which is nice. Oh, we got salad on that one though, I think. Yep, we do. There we go. Salad off. No, salad's not all the way off. We still got some salad on there. Which is affecting how that blade is running. The blade has to be free to vibrate, and that salad makes it to where it can't vibrate when it's running through that water. Oh boy. Chicken pox. Oh, lovely. That's always fun. Dino nuggets to cheer you up. That sounds amazing. Dino nuggies are the best nuggies. Dino nuggies are absolutely the best nuggies. Always will be the best nuggies. There will never be nuggies better than Dino nuggies. Alright, we ain't getting much on the old chatterbait right now. Might have to switch taxis up again, which ain't necessarily a bad thing. Yeah, that's what I thought. Got us some old salad. And a bird's nest. Clear up this bird's nest real quick. There we go. No more salad. Bird's nest gone. Alright. Didn't even know turkey dino nuggets were a thing. I would try turkey dino nuggets. That sounds delicious. Ugh. More salad. Come on. And one of our flappers got caught. There we go. Alright, we're going to do one more cast with the chatterbait. And we're going to move and potentially change tactics back at the truck. Because we are at 21% battery life. And I don't want the phone to die while on stream. I think, if I remember right, I should have a charging cord in the truck. I believe. We're going to find out. It's hard to find chicken dino nuggets in the UK. Really? Interesting. I would not expect that. I would expect them to have that. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like chicken nuggets are just such a normal thing, like everywhere. I didn't think they would just have turkey dino nuggets. But that still sounds delicious. All right. One more cast. I say that a lot. One more cast. And salad. Okay. We are officially at 20%. So, let's head back to the truck. Let's change up some tactics. And charge the phone up a little bit. Get this all hooked back up here. Come on. There we go. All right. Let's head back to the truck. Let me put you guys. I don't really have a way to balance you too well while I put everything back together. So get used to being really close to my face for a second. Because I got to put my rods back in the back. Come on. Uncinch. There you go. Okay. The rods are back on the back. Oh yeah, that'll do it. I can't say much. The U.S. is in a lot of debt too, so we are also in that like 2 trillion boat, maybe actually probably a little bit more. Okay, let's head back to the truck. If I don't have a charging cord, then unfortunately we'll probably have to end stream here. But I mean, we got almost 2 hours of fishing in. I like that. And I hope you all have enjoyed this because I plan on doing it a lot more, um, especially on the YouTube side of things. Might do a little bit on the TikTok side of things. I'm thinking tomorrow night on TikTok, I'm going to be streaming IRL of me making some of our Thanksgiving Day food here in the US. So I'm pre-making some food for our Thanksgiving dinner. Um, Actually, not tomorrow, on Thursday. Sorry, on Thursday. I'm pre-making some food on Thursday. Which wait, no, today's Wednesday. So yeah, I'm right. Little behind on my days. Yes, on Thursday, doing a little cooking stream while I'm pre-making things for Friday, which is the day that we're doing our big celebration for Thanksgiving. So I might stream that. I think I might stream that on TikTok. So if you're not following me on TikTok, run to my channel, go to the link tree, and click that, and then you will see my TikTok. If you aren't wanting to go onto the link tree, I understand. I'm wary about links myself all the time. So if you have TikTok, then go to TikTok and type in Britannic Panic, the same way it's spelled here on Twitch, and then you'll find me. Give me a follow there. I'm also on Instagram, so same thing there, Britannic Panic. Give me a follow there. Give me a follow on YouTube. Thank you. I don't know. Perfect. And I'm trying to get the YouTube up to 50 subscribers because for some reason YouTube will only let you do this kind of streaming, like streaming on your phone, if you have 50 subscribers. Now I can go and stream on YouTube today on my computer, but not on my phone. So where TikTok's opposite, I can stream on my phone today on TikTok, but if I wanted to stream on my phone or on my computer for TikTok, I have to have, I think, 1,000 followers, which is ridiculous. So, yeah, go and follow me on all my socials. Let's get this content out there for more people to enjoy. We can teach more people about fishing, have fun times on Subnautica, Schedule 1, Phasmo, Minecraft, stuff like that. And that gives me the ability to get more things to make streaming more interesting and better quality. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you for going and following that. I don't know. I appreciate it greatly. And then today, I might just make a little TikTok about it, or a YouTube short, or all of the above. But Flory bought a fishing backpack, one smaller than the one on my back right now, by a company called Cast King, off my throne, for me to use in videos and take on trips. So I might do a little unboxing on TikTok and YouTube of that for y'all to see. Get some different kinds of videos out. I think it'll be cool. Ooh, we're at 15% just in that walk. We went from 20% to 15%. Let's hope I have a charging cord. If not, we'll be ending stream, unfortunately. Okay, coming up on the truck. Exactly, Shay. Exactly, Sam. This episode brought to you by Flory. Okay, let me get the truck bed down. Okay, you're a little tall up there. Bring you back down to size. Ah. Okay, we're gonna put the bag down. I'm gonna go see if I can find a charging cord real quick. I'll be right back. I know I used to have one in here. It's looking like it might have got taken out. Nope, there it is. We found it. Don't have one of those fancy trucks that has the plugins in the bed, unfortunately. So into the cab of the truck you go, which might be better for sound quality due to the fact that it's windy. Let's try you there. Kind of got to set you up where you're not gonna be too angled. Aha, there you go, perfect. Oh, you're not. Oh, don't tell me this charging cord doesn't work. This charging cord might not work. It is a very old charging cord, so it is quite possible. Shoot, let me get power to the truck. Maybe that's what I can do. Maybe, maybe not. This charging cord just might not work. Shoot. Oh, I don't think it works. Also, will I be doing a Christmas special stream? I don't know. We might. It might be Kel and I and Sam and your mom's Guido. We might end up doing a family stream. That's usually what we do on big events. That's what we did on Halloween. We did a family stream in the living room, just playing like family games. We might end up doing that again. I don't know for a fact, so don't get your hopes up too high, just in case that doesn't come true. Well, that charging cord apparently does not work. So unfortunately, I think this is where the stream will be ending, unfortunately. Because I thought I had a working charging cord and it is not wanting to work. We're at 13% battery life. So, but to everyone that joined in, I am so happy you guys were here. This was a lot of fun. I fully plan on doing this again. We'll just make sure we have all the things we need to keep the battery life going to do longer streams. Eventually, I'll be able to get a chest rig going with like a GoPro or something, so I can get better quality videos out on the YouTube side of things. But this was a lot of fun. We got one fish. Hey, that's better than none. We didn't get skunked. It was a good sized fish, especially for this pond. This pond lake. Usually doesn't have a whole lot of big fish in it. This time it did. It had pretty good fish in it this time. But yeah, we'll continue doing these. But if you're watching and not following, please give me a follow. I would appreciate it greatly. Go follow me on all my platforms. Like I said, I'm on YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, and Instagram. Um, yeah, we're gonna keep doing this. We'll go back to video games at some point as well, and we'll just flip flop between all the different variety things that we do here. But I appreciate you guys. I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, guys.